Yeah, maybe.
Maybe in 2 seconds. Let me just get this one other piece out.
Oh my gosh, what a difference.
Oh my God. Not my favorite, but to buy cars, my favorite is biology. But you can't get good cars.
Yeah.
Hey, love.
Hey, just drop your some sunscreen and get it ready.
Oh, look at you. Thanks, love.
68, can't be too careful.
Yeah, good stroke out up here. It's hot.
Say hi to Tyler if you see him.
Oh, I will.
Have fun. All right, well, we got her uncovered, and now we're gonna make sure she's buttoned up in case it rains. We don't get any leaks, so we gotta get our port visors on. We gotta make sure the hatches are closing properly and make sure the hatch boards are in, and get ready to do some big work tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna try to get the engine going. We're gonna fill the water tanks and make sure there are no leaks, and just start chipping away at all the things we need to do to get ready for June 2nd. Okay, we got the, Jacques and I got the first port visor on the port side by the head. Went on pretty easy. Now we're gonna try port number 2. Okay, we got all of the port visors on. It's hard to tell how they're gonna look from up here, but happy with them. And now we're gonna go down below and see what they look like from below, but then, you know, if I had my druthers, we'd have none, but all these ports typically leak, so it's nice to have just some protection. Instead of taking all these out and rebedding, we've got these visors on there that should give them protection. Okay, day 3 of commissioning, really. Yesterday we got the cover off. Today we're going to do the engine, as I said, and just taking a look down the boat. Really excited to get on the water. And luckily there's a little breeze because the black flies are going to be nasty. And today, hopefully we're going to use this commissioning and decommissioning hack so that we can start the engine on the hard and fill the system with water to keep it cool, and, you know, as if we're in the ocean, we could run it indefinitely given the system that we've created. So hopefully we can show you that, show you how we made it, and let it rip, and it should be really cool. It'll be great to pink out the engine in the fall, and great for running the engine in the spring to make sure she's good to go before she goes in the water, because I don't want to do all this work on the boat that we have to do only to find out that for some reason the engine's not working properly. So I think you're going to dig this hack. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, so this is the device I made up in the shop, and originally I was going to try to connect it, this bitter end, to the raw water intake on the raw water strainer. So in other words, I was going to disconnect it where it came in through the through hole and the seacock through hole, and then I was going to connect this to that end of the water strainer, and then just be able to turn on the water and have it connected, and you could just run a hose into this bucket. It would come down, and you have a valve here to turn it off if you need to, and it would run right into the strainer directly. However, I decided that wasn't really going to work great because, for starters, I can't get this hose off of the intake end of the strainer. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get that off. So instead of stressing the hose and monkeying with that every season, I decided to MacGruber something here, which is, in short, a bung, which will go into the top of the strainer. If I get this hose out of the way, like so. And I have a fitting now that's going to go on this end, which I'll show you in a minute, which connects to this, and I have a control valve here. And I should be able to run the water directly into the bucket and down this line through the companionway, so you don't have to bring a hose down below. And this will connect right to here, which you'll see in a second, and good to go. All right, check it out. I'm going to take this piece, which connects to the bung piece, into the hose, and it should slide right on there. Oh, pressure. And then just so you can see that now. I don't know if I got all that, but I'll do my best to show you this, and then just tighten up the hose clamp. Very exciting stuff, yeah? But I think you're gonna, if you don't have this hack already and you have an inboard engine and you want to commission and decommission on your own, or with a partner, friend, helper, what have you, you don't want to pay someone to do it, I think this is going to be a great hack. Of course, the proof will be in the pudding today when I try it. Okay, so at the bottom of your screen, you can see this. This is the part that goes to the bung, and here's the line coming down, and nice, big, easy handle to grip to turn this on. Just make sure it's lined up right. Take two. All right, we got it. So now I've got control here to turn it on and off the water, and I'll show it to you a little bit better here. All right, guys, today's your lucky day. This is the first time the three boat fools have been together working on the boat this spring. You remember the captain and then Jacques Cartier. We are here. We got a whole laundry list of stuff to do today. We got to get the rub rail on. We got to wax and buff the hull. We got to paint the bottom. We got to test the engine. We got to finish the brightwork. It's endless, but we're 2 weeks away from launch. I think we're going to get there. So the captain's fresh in from Vermont, and he's the ringer here with all the sweet tools that we're going to need today to get the work done.
Product placement.
Product placement. Here we go.
Highly recommend Milwaukee brand.
Just to be clear, we're not sponsored by Milwaukee, but we'd love to be.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They're lightweight, handy tools. Are very nice.
There you have it. And then Jacques Cartier is our fastidious architect who's going to make sure we do things cleanly and neatly and keep a sharp eye on things. Is there anything you want to add to this? Test out those new mics we're using here.
Well, yeah, I'll have to test out the new mics. So
yeah,
we'll do that first.
Yeah.
And then go and do all their other stuff.
Right. Then get to the important stuff of actually working on the boat.
We should have walkie-talkies so we can talk to each other.
You know, I've seen people use those headsets, like one's
right.
on the bow, one's on the helm.
That's right.
And so we're not screaming at each other. Not that we ever scream, but
there's some yelling.
only when you ran into the pier last summer.
Oh,
hey, it was a love touch.
It was a love tap. You don't treat a lady like that. You don't
Yeah.
push and shove. So, you
Now
know,
we have stainless steel rub rails. So
yeah, we put them on
gonna negate
specifically for
that
the
problem.
captain's driving prowess, which is terrible.
Just rusty.
And as you know from the episode on Fiesta, he has a prowess for hitting things.
Oh.
So we've got to protect this baby.
Yes.
We got to bubble wrap this thing. And then what was the other thing I was going to talk about was the fact that so the reason we're doing so many projects this year is because we bought the boat last year and we sailed her for a season to, you know, and over the course of that season, we sort of figured out what things we wanted to work on, like the rub rail and redoing the brightwork and all that stuff. So we recommend that if you're buying a boat, that you sail it for a season before you start digging into the projects, because it can become like a scab you want to pick to get to that fresh, clean skin underneath. That's what we're working. It's a gross analogy, isn't it? But that's what we're working on. We're getting the scab off this boat, and she's going to be the belle of the ball when we're done. So,
yep.
Pretty.
And then it's got some new seat cushions going up in the v-berth.
yeah, we got the v-berth.
And
We'll show you some pictures of that. It's like an extreme home makeover. We'll show you that. I'll
Yeah.
put a clip into that. And,
Yeah.
And then
memory
these
foam.
cushions here, we've got this little track now because the cushions used to slide out on us. So
in the
now-
cockpit.
In the cockpit. So we'll do these, slide the cushions in, hopefully keep them nice and firm.
Right. So when you're walking back
yeah.
from the bow into the cockpit and you step on one of your seat cushions, you don't go ass over tea kettle into the deep blue sea. So these are a little bit of a security measure. And who do we use for this? It was St. Georges River. What's the name?
Georges River Canvas. Yeah.
Georges River Canvas.
Yeah.
They're in Rockland.
Big shout out to
Fantastic.
them.
Yep.
Great people.
Yep, they were huge with our v-berth cushions and these new tracks for our cockpit cushions. And then another thing we got to tackle, we got to get our radar dome on the mast. That is no easy feat, but the captain found a 50-foot metal snake that we're going to use to feed that through and get that hooked up. So no shortage of things
Did you get
to
the
do.
cable? Did you get the cable?
Now it's back ordered. cable backward, so we'll have to wait for that.
Delay.
Hamilton Marine. God darn it.
Yeah.
Delay.
Delays. So glad to have the whole crew here. We're so psyched. We're going to get cranking through it, and we'll give you some updates along the way.
With
All right.
pictures.
With pictures,
With
and
pictures.
maybe some.
And notice how much lighter it is in here. With
Oh,
our
yeah,
new
with our new
scoops,
windows.
New windows.
Yep.
Yeah.
New PortVisors. Shout out to PortVisors. I wasn't sure these were going to work. We love them. It adds so much light and protection.
Yeah.
All right, so let's break on 3. 1, 2, 3, break. And we got Jacques Cartier up on the boat. We got our first piece of stainless trim that we've just dry fit. And the captain's in from Vermont, having a Bloody Mary to steady the shakes. So hopefully this goes well. Okay, here we are. We are launching our new to us 8-foot rib with our 2.5 horsepower outboard. So we're gonna Yamaha. We'd like a sponsorship, sure.
Yes, we did.
And we're gonna take it out on this huge body of water here. It looks risky, and we may not make it back, but we'll go give it a shot.
Life jackets optional.
Optional. And I think the mean depth is maybe 6 feet. But here we go. Here we are out on the deep blue brown pond.
Planing speed.
Wow.
Watch your ass.
Wow.
Oh! We're all
I think that's about full speed, right? Is that full?
Yep.
We're really
That's all she
cruising.
got?
We're doing 6 knots, easy.
Is that all she's got?
That's all she got.
Damn it, watch out for the reef!
There is a rock up there. Yeah, do a couple of He's in his turns. Do some donuts.
Turning radius, not so good.
I mean, it's definitely a downsize in terms of speed and.
Oh!
Ken, you hit some waves.
Watch that. Yeah, there's some waves out here in the pond.
My arse is soaking wet.
So you gotta watch that too, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way to start a sailing adventure with a wet
a beer in the back of the boat so we don't like.
Ooh, the dinghy works. Yeah, successful. Though I got wet butt. Ooh. All right, guys, say goodbye until next time.
See ya.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.
We just took a ride in Chow.
And Ciao, that's what we're gonna name it, Ciao.
Yeah.
The name of our boat, by the way, is Va Bene. And the name, well, you say, who's Italian here?
Va bene.
Va Bene.
Va bene.
Yeah, and the name of the dinghy is gonna be
Ciao.
Ciao. All right, see you next time. Okay, so we did get the rub rail on yesterday, the stainless steel. All 38 feet on each side, and pretty happy with the way it looks, actually. It's kind of hard to tell on video, but it really sort of ties the boat together with the new stainless lifeline, and that upper lifeline is slack only because the gate is open. So as the bottom painting commenced, we tackled a number of other projects around the boat, and there was no shortage of things to do. There's our MacGruber contraption working. I'm so excited right now, Josh. Yeah. Turn it on in the bucket. Yeah, good. So the engine ran for about 15 seconds and then died cold. We realized we had air in the fuel line, and we had to bleed it at the secondary fuel filter on the engine and at all 4 injectors. And finally, after several attempts, she was up and running again and purring like a kitten. Okay, so new memory foam cushions are in the v-berth, and I think they look spectacular. I've got it closed up right now because I'm doing a water test to make sure the hatch doesn't leak, but it's like an extreme home makeover up in the v-berth, and it looks fantastic, and couldn't be happier with it. So on to the next project. You don't really realize how big a 38-foot boat is until you have to paint her bottom. And I'd say it took the captain a better part of 2 hours, but he got it done and he did a great job, and she looked fantastic. And the saga of our mast-mounted radar continued as we drilled holes in our mast, which was very disconcerting to mount the radar bracket. This is a long, sad story, which will continue at another time. I'm not sure where I was during the entire duration of the captain's painting of the bottom. I may have been napping, I may have been working on the engine, I may have been tidying up down below, but we did 3 days of work to get this boat pretty much ready to go, though the fun was only beginning because then I started to do some varnishing. Well, we got a lot done today, but the rain is now coming down, which is nice because the boat needs a good wash, so we're going to just go run up and make sure nothing's leaking. What a day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the teak is finally done. 5 coats each side, 3 of Epiphane's gloss, semi-gloss rather, and 2 top coats of Epiphane's matte finish, rapid clear. Hard to tell, but it really looks great. So on the morning of June 2nd, the boat transport company showed up at 8 a.m. sharp, backed right on in, loaded up the boat, and we brought over a tractor to help us load the mast on because the boom truck that usually brings our mast down in steps, it was out of service, so we had to bob and weave a little bit here. But with the assistance of the tractor, we got the mast loaded up, and that transport driver, slicker than snot, got us on there, out of there, and down in the harbor in short order. And by, I believe it was 9:30, we were on the water and ready to get out to the mooring and make sure the boat didn't sink. But all went smoothly, couldn't have been happier. Honestly, I don't know how these boat haulers do it. They must have nerves of steel. I was a nervous wreck on the way down, but our driver is a master at this, and there was not one issue on the way down. It is sort of like watching your child go off to school for the first time, so you're definitely a little anxious, but everything is going to be okay. Please float. And we can't remember to leave without the dinghy. Look at that nice brightwork. All right, she's in and floating, shooting some water out the transom. And boy, she looks good. Looks silly without her stick in, but looking good. Our new little dinghy. Oh, there's Jacques Cartier. Woo, we did it.
Temperature was like 70 something. Wow, it feels a lot warmer.
It does when there's no breeze, that's for sure. Yeah, so it's supposed to blow up to 30 out of the northeast.
Yeah, so that's not great for this.
Or Rockland.
That's why I say let's put it on moon dance until Monday.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
It's closer in, right?
Want me to ask John?
Yeah.
So we took a quick spin around the harbor just to warm up the engine. And it turned out we got some very sage advice from a spectator, which explains exactly why we had liftoff, but only sort of.
It's my friend's husband's boat.
They should get a map.
I want to see how those ports look from 20 feet out on the water. The new windows that we put in. Yeah. Yeah, looking good. Looks funny without our mast.
We're not going to put it in this year.
Yeah, just gonna use it as a motorboat. Yeah. Looking good, Ken.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, jeez.